If you're a man aged 60 or older, the information in today's video may help you better understand the real causes behind prostate enlargement, a condition that many silently suffer from without even realizing it. Frequent nighttime urination, weak urine flow, the feeling of incomplete emptying or difficulty starting to urinate. These are common symptoms, but they're not always an unavoidable consequence of aging. In reality, certain everyday habits, seemingly harmless, may be quietly damaging the prostate over time. I'm Dr. Samuel Grant, and in this video, I'll walk you through some familiar lifestyle factors that could be contributing to prostate enlargement, from your eating and exercise habits to something as simple as how much water you drink or how you react to stress. Be sure to watch until the end of this video, because at the very end, I'll share one simple thing that could make a big difference in improving prostate health naturally. Especially useful if you're looking for a solution that doesn't rely on medications or surgery. Before we begin, I'd love to know your name and where you're watching from. Please leave a comment below so I know who I'm sharing this health journey with today. And if you find this content helpful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss future updates from me. Now let's get started with the first habit, something that may seem small, but could actually be silently putting pressure on your prostate every single day without you realizing it. Habit 10. Not drinking enough water, a silent offender that disrupts the male urinary system. Among older adults, the need to urinate at night often leads many to limit their water intake, especially in the late afternoon or evening. This might sound reasonable, but it can have unintended consequences, especially for the prostate. From what I've observed, when your body isn't getting enough water, your urine becomes more concentrated. This concentrated urine can irritate the bladder lining and place constant pressure on the prostate, which sits just beneath it. Over time, chronic dehydration can lead to inflammation in the lower urinary tract, affecting both the function and size of the prostate. Another point to consider is that many common medications used by seniors, such as those for blood pressure, heart conditions, or allergies, can cause mild dehydration. Without drinking enough to compensate, your body may accumulate toxins, forcing the urinary system to work harder, and the prostate is not exempt from that strain. The solution is very simple. You don't need to drink a lot at once. Just spread your water intake evenly throughout the day. A good sign is if your urine is clear or light yellow. Listen to your body instead of avoiding the urge to urinate, because water itself isn't the cause of urinary problems. In fact, not drinking enough is often the root of the issue. Staying properly hydrated not only soothes the urinary system, but also helps reduce pressure on the prostate, improves urination comfort, and may even help prevent early-stage enlargement. Next, let's explore another common habit, one that's especially prevalent among retired individuals, but quietly creates pressure in the pelvic area and disrupts blood flow to the prostate. Habit 9. Sitting too long, static pressure that harms the pelvic area and the prostate. Retirement or having more time at home often means we spend a large portion of the day sitting, watching TV, reading, working on the computer, or simply relaxing. However, from my experience, prolonged sitting without movement in between is one of the main factors that reduces blood flow to the pelvic region, which includes the prostate. When you sit for long periods, especially on hard surfaces or in a fixed position, the perineal area is subjected to continuous mechanical pressure. This not only restricts the flow of blood and oxygen to the prostate tissues, but also creates the perfect condition for silent inflammation to develop, a major contributor to prostate enlargement over time. What's more, prolonged sitting without movement weakens the pelvic floor muscles, the muscles that support the bladder and help regulate urination. When these muscles become weak, it can lead to incomplete bladder emptying or urine retention, which further irritates the prostate. Fortunately, the solution is simple and doesn't require high-intensity workouts. Just establish a small routine. For every 30 minutes of sitting, stand up and move around or stretch your arms and legs for 1-2 minutes. This helps restore circulation, relieve pressure on the pelvis, and nourish the prostate tissues more effectively. Even gentle movements like walking around the house, stretching, or deep breathing can create a positive impact when done consistently. Now, the next habit may surprise you. It seems harmless and is part of many people's daily morning routine, but if overused, it could be quietly aggravating and disrupting your prostate function. Habit 8. Overusing caffeine, a stimulator that stresses the prostate. A morning cup of coffee or a strong tea in the afternoon can be a hard-to-break habit, especially for middle-aged men. But if you consume caffeine frequently throughout the day without control, you may be unknowingly pushing your prostate into a constant state of stress. Caffeine is a natural diuretic. Once ingested, it increases the frequency of urination and causes the bladder to contract more often than usual. For a prostate that is already sensitive, especially if it shows early signs of enlargement, this increase in bladder activity can make symptoms like urgency, difficulty urinating, or nighttime urination more noticeable and uncomfortable. Additionally, caffeine can tighten the muscles in the bladder neck, the area responsible for controlling urine flow. When these muscles stay contracted, urination becomes less smooth, leading to residual urine that places further pressure on the prostate. What's concerning is that many people don't just drink coffee. They also consume strong tea, energy drinks, chocolate, or even over-the-counter painkillers that contain caffeine, without realizing how much caffeine they're actually taking in daily. As a doctor, I advise adjusting, not eliminating, your intake. A small cup of coffee in the morning usually poses no serious problem. But if you're drinking 2 or 3 cups a day, consider switching to decaf or herbal tea in the afternoon so your prostate can get a break. Don't let your favorite beverage quietly push your prostate into overdrive. Finding balance, keeping the habit while protecting your health, is the smarter way forward. And now let's explore something that seems simple in our everyday diet, but if done the wrong way, can make inflammation worse and throw off your hormone balance. Habit 7. Eating too much spicy and processed food, when taste buds led to inflammation. Many people believe that flavorful, spicy, or well-seasoned dishes make meals more enjoyable, especially older men with a stronger palate. However, regularly consuming spicy foods or processed meals can trigger chronic inflammation throughout the body, including the prostate. Spices like chili, pepper, or mustard, when consumed frequently, can irritate the lining of the urethra and bladder, making those areas more sensitive. This indirectly creates more pressure on the prostate. For someone already experiencing enlargement, this can worsen symptoms like urgency or difficulty urinating. As for processed foods, such as canned goods, fast food, smoked meats, sausages, or instant noodles, the concern lies not just in high sodium levels, but also in preservatives, artificial flavorings, and trans fats. These ingredients can harm cardiovascular health and disrupt hormone levels, especially testosterone, a key factor in regulating prostate size and function. So if your diet mainly consists of packaged meals, convenient snacks, or spicy food every day, you may want to reconsider. Replacing them with fresh produce, leafy greens, whole grains, and plant-based oils can reduce inflammation and give your prostate a chance to stabilize. Your meal isn't just a source of energy, it's a message you send to your body. And if you make the right choices, your prostate will receive the positive signals it needs from the inside out. Coming up next is a habit that most people assume is harmless in daily life. But when done too frequently, it can irritate the prostate and lead to prolonged inflammation. Habit 6. Frequently holding in urine, a small action with big consequences for the prostate. Most of us have experienced moments when we hold it in for a bit longer, because we're busy or unable to find a restroom. But repeating this behavior frequently, especially in older adults, can have serious consequences for urinary and prostate health. When you hold in urine for too long, the bladder walls are forced to stretch to accommodate the growing volume. This stretching creates direct pressure downward, exactly where the prostate is located. Over time, this constant pressure and mechanical strain can irritate the prostate tissue, potentially leading to inflammation or gradual enlargement. Especially in older adults, bladder and pelvic floor muscles tend to weaken. Regularly delaying urination can result in incomplete emptying of the bladder, leaving residual urine behind and increasing the risk of urinary tract infections, an indirect cause of prostate irritation and swelling. Moreover, holding urine too long can negatively affect sleep. Many try to avoid nighttime bathroom trips by resisting the urge to urinate before bed. But the discomfort of a full bladder often prevents deep sleep, affecting both physical and mental well-being. The advice here is simple. When your body signals it's time to go, don't delay for any reason, especially after age 50. This small habit, if followed consistently, can significantly reduce daily pressure on the prostate. Let's move on to habit 5, where we'll take a closer look at a harmful factor many people underestimate, an invisible destroyer that deeply impacts the prostate. Cigarette smoke, whether you're actively smoking or simply exposed to it passively. Habit 5. Smoking and passive smoke exposure, a silent threat to the prostate. When people think of smoking, they usually associate it with lung or heart diseases. But the harm from cigarette smoke goes deeper. It can negatively affect the prostate, whether you're an active smoker or simply exposed to secondhand smoke. Each cigarette contains hundreds of harmful chemicals, many of which cause inflammation and tissue damage. These substances reduce blood flow to the pelvic region, where the prostate resides, disrupting tissue regeneration and toxin elimination. The result: prostate tissue becomes vulnerable, inflammation builds up, and enlargement gradually develops over time. Worse still, smoke causes oxidative stress, an imbalance between free radicals and the body's ability to neutralize them. This weakens the immune system, increases the risk of prostate infections, and disrupts hormonal regulation, key to maintaining prostate health. And here's the critical point. Even if you don't smoke, regular exposure to secondhand smoke in your home, workplace, or other enclosed spaces can still produce significant harm. If you're a smoker, start planning to cut back and seek medical support if needed. If you've quit or never smoked, make it a priority to avoid environments where smoke is present. This will protect not just your lungs and heart, but also your prostate and urinary system. Now let's talk about one of the most common oversights, something many people ignore, that causes them to miss the critical opportunity for early detection. Skipping regular health checkups. Habit 4. Skipping regular health checkups when no symptoms might be a warning sign. Many people only visit the doctor when they experience obvious symptoms or discomfort. But in my experience, the prostate is one of those organs that can grow silently for years without causing noticeable problems, until the condition becomes serious. Prostate enlargement usually begins with minor structural changes or hormonal shifts. These early changes often go unnoticed, no pain, no clear symptoms. That's why regular checkups, including ultrasounds, PSA tests, or digital rectal exams, are the only way to catch problems early and manage them before symptoms worsen. Some men hesitate to undergo prostate exams due to inconvenience, discomfort, or embarrassment. But in truth, most modern tests are simple, minimally invasive, and quick. More importantly, the earlier the issue is found, the more likely it can be managed naturally, without medications or surgery. I often tell my patients, don't go to the doctor because you feel something's wrong, go to make sure everything is still right. For men over 50, making annual prostate checkups a routine can significantly reduce long-term complications. To help track our health more scientifically, let me introduce you to a simple yet effective tech tool, a home-based health tracking app designed to monitor prostate health and keep you in control of even the smallest changes. Home-based prostate health tracking tool, a small assistant with big impact. In addition to maintaining a healthy lifestyle and getting regular checkups, I often encourage older adults, especially those experiencing urinary issues or managing prostate enlargement, to use simple tools to track their health at home. A basic mobile app can help you monitor key factors like how many times you urinate per day, how much water you drink, the quality of your sleep at night, symptoms of urinary difficulty, and even reminders for follow-up visits or logs of any unusual sensations during urination. When this data is recorded consistently, it enables doctors to make more accurate and timely assessments during your next appointment. The great thing is, these apps don't require you to be tech-savvy. They feature simple interfaces, easy-to-use functions, and are designed with older adults in mind. Some even come with automatic reminders or can sync with your electronic health records. As I always say, you won't always remember exactly when a symptom occurred or how long it lasted, but the app will remember for you. That's why proactive tracking is such a vital part of modern disease prevention and management. Having clear and organized information about your own body is the first step to not being caught off guard by changes in your prostate health. Personally, I find this kind of app incredibly helpful in helping us stay informed about our health. Give it a try and share your experience with me. Now let's move on to a familiar group of foods in our daily meals, high in protein and easy to prepare, but when overused, can trigger chronic inflammation and directly impact prostate health. Habit 3. Eating too much red meat, a familiar protein source that's a double-edged sword for the prostate. Red meat, including beef, pork, lamb, and processed meats like sausages and bacon, is a common part of many Vietnamese meals. However, consuming red meat frequently over a long period may increase inflammation and negatively affect prostate health. Here's why. Red meat is high in saturated fats and cholesterol, two elements that, when combined with slower digestion in older adults, can elevate oxidative stress and chronic inflammation in the body. This inflammatory state doesn't just impact your blood vessels or heart. It directly affects prostate tissue, making the gland more prone to irritation and enlargement. In addition, red meat can disrupt hormonal balance in men, especially when paired with industrially processed foods, like canned meat, sausages, or pre-marinated cuts. This creates hormonal instability, an important factor in maintaining a healthy prostate. This doesn't mean you have to eliminate red meat completely. My advice is to reduce your red meat intake to just 1–2 meals per week and choose healthier protein sources instead, like fatty fish, skinless chicken, tofu, nuts, or vegetables rich in plant-based protein. Balancing your diet not only relieves pressure on the prostate but also helps with weight control, stabilizes blood pressure, and lowers the risk of other chronic conditions, building a solid foundation for overall health. I'm sure many of you watching are also striving for a healthier body, and we all share one common enemy, belly fat. So let's take a closer look at why an expanding waistline, whether from lifestyle or dietary habits, is actually a warning sign that your prostate may be under more pressure than you realize. Habit 2, belly fat not just a cosmetic issue, but a warning sign for prostate health. An expanding waistline with age is often considered normal, but belly fat, especially visceral fat, is a major risk factor for prostate health that many people still overlook. The reason is that fat cells in the abdominal area aren't just for energy storage. They also function like endocrine glands, constantly releasing inflammatory substances and disrupting hormones, specifically by decreasing testosterone and increasing estrogen. Both of these changes contribute to abnormal growth of prostate tissue, which can lead to enlargement, nighttime urination, and urinary disorders. Additionally, belly fat creates direct mechanical pressure on the bladder and pelvic area, making urination more difficult and worsening existing symptoms. Fortunately, you don't have to lose a lot of weight to see results. Just shedding 3–5 kilograms, especially fat around the waist, can significantly improve symptoms related to the prostate. Start by cutting back on sugar and refined carbs, increasing your intake of vegetables, and walking 15–30 minutes a day. These are excellent first steps for managing belly fat and rebalancing your hormones. Now let's move on to perhaps the most important part of today's journey, a factor that we often underestimate, but that deeply affects the nervous system, hormonal balance, and prostate function: chronic stress. Habit 1. Prolonged stress, the silent culprit that disrupts prostate health. Most people don't realize that mood and emotions are linked to the prostate. But chronic stress is actually one of the most silent yet powerful contributors to prostate dysfunction in middle-aged and older men. When you're under stress, your body releases cortisol, a hormone designed to help you cope in the short term. However, when cortisol levels remain elevated for a long time, it weakens your immune system, disrupts male hormone balance, and triggers systemic inflammation, directly affecting the prostate as one of the first organs to suffer. Stress also causes pelvic muscles to remain tense, reducing blood flow to the prostate and leading to discomfort, pressure, and urinary problems, especially frequent nighttime urination or difficulty emptying the bladder. The good news is that you can manage stress naturally by practicing deep breathing for 5 minutes each morning, taking slow walks, listening to calming music, avoiding negative news, and spending quality time with loved ones. Getting enough sleep and avoiding intense mental work in the evening are also simple yet powerful ways to relax your nervous system and support prostate healing each night. We've just gone through 10 seemingly harmless daily habits that can silently affect your prostate health over time, from drinking habits, diet, and physical activity to how you respond to stress each day. The encouraging truth is, no one is ever too old to change, and no habit is too small to make a difference. You don't need to change everything at once. Just pick one simple change starting today: drink more water, take a walk after meals, or learn how to rest at the right time, and that alone can be a great beginning to protect your prostate naturally, sustainably, and proactively. If you found these insights helpful, don't forget to click subscribe and turn on notifications. This is where Dr. Samuel Grant will continue to share clear, practical, and easy-to-apply health knowledge for middle-aged and older men. Thank you for staying with me until the end of this video. Wishing you strength, optimism, and the power to take charge of your health journey. See you in the next video.